Writing update, and I have somehow lost one of my paper clips, which is very strange, so I have to go get another one. I'm Quinn Moon, I write Cray Fairy Tales, and this is a fairy tale update. I think these are my favorites because it's like stuff that I'm genuinely excited about because I'm writing it. Okay, update for this week. First of all, I made a pretty major decision coming out of one of the writing groups that I attended last week. I will not be publishing my book in 2027, which is pretty devastating, but you know, is what it is. I will be completing the work by summer 2027, but because I'm doing this indie publishing and I'm doing it myself with my company and my team, I'm going to miss behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to miss prime Q2, Q3 sort of time frame, and my book has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, and it could fall under like spooky, but I wouldn't call it like a Halloween book either, so it also misses like the whole spooky season. And Q1, like, everybody be busy trying to kick off the new year and stuff. So in an ideal world, I will be publishing this, I think April or May, and get enough momentum so that by Pride Month, hopefully it's successful. But this would be published in Q2 of 2028. The book will be done Q2 of 2027 though, so that's exciting. By the time I get this book published though, I should already be like well underway with revising the final draft of my second book. But that's not what we're here to talk about. The goal of last week was to outline the entirety of the book. That was extremely ambitious given I did have 3 events that I did attend last week. And while I'm glad I attended those events, it did really wipe me out. So goal for this week. Paperclip stopped. Okay, so goal for this week. I have the entirety of chapter 1 written. I have chapter 2 fairly well underway, and I know exactly kind of what's happening in chapter 2. Chapter 3 was where everything was kind of needing to be reorganized. Chapter 4 was brand new chapter. I'm like, what are we even doing here? And then chapter 5 needs to be reworked as well. I got a substantial amount of chapter 3 outlined at my little writing date on Sunday, which was phenomenal. So I have a really good idea of what we're doing in chapter 3. I also did a little bit of research of what I needed to do in chapter 4. Because chapter 4 was that new, it was really starting from the ground up, which was a little daunting. But I did get some good ideas of what we're doing in chapter 4. I need to add a sort of a conflict, but first we gotta like define what we're doing before we can have a conflict, right? Can't put the cart before the horse. And then in chapter 5, we really started drafting what we're doing. I have a good idea of what's happening. Like at a high level, I know exactly what's happening. I had to move a couple of scenes around so that they had a little more impact than where they were previously. So the goal for this week, reasonably speaking, I want to refine outlines for chapters 3, 4, and 5. Once I have those, the rest of the book's literally already written. I just gotta go and like tweak it up a little bit. Once I do that, smooth sailing from there. So this week, I will be outlining in detail, painful, excruciating detail, chapters 3, 4, and 5. So that's what I'm writing this week. What are you writing this week?